with this later. So I'll just hit. Is that all right with you guys if I record the meeting?
Yeah, it's fine with
Sure.
me.
Yeah. I can remember years ago when I got started in the auto business, and I realized how much we were leaving on the table. I write about it, talk about it all the time. This is back in 1998, 99, 2000. Excuse me, time period. I get very emotional about it. I'm getting all verklempt. And no, but I remember thinking we were leaving 25 million a year on the table. And then later, as I developed this company and bought the software, I said, holy crap, we were really leaving probably 40, 50 million on the table every year, So I got in my head, it should be relatively easy to grow with the right approach to grow dramatically. And it's been challenging finding the right group of guys, but certainly I want to acknowledge Danny Smith for leading the way on this on this thing. 20%. What were your thoughts, Danny, when we said 20% 2.5 years ago? What were your thoughts?
Well, my first thought was, no way. That's just not even feasible. I mean, I was lucky to do 3 to 5% for 10 years prior to that. So 20% wasn't even a thought. I mean, that's just like that was a statement that was out there in la la land,
Now,
That's
hey, he shared with me a text message the other day. He said he's only grown at the rate of 15% after 3 years, 22, 20, and then now he's upset at 15% growth. That's funny.
I mean, you get used to things, right, Danny?
yeah, we had and I don't want to come across as bragging or anything, but we had the best month I've ever had since I've been in business last month, August. And August is generally not one of our better months. And we were up 19.7%. And I was let down at that 0.3%. And you know, Dan, my right hand guy, Dan Combs, he looked at me like I was smoking something terrible. Seriously? Yeah. Oh, we're so close. What do you mean we're so close? So yeah, you get used to it, and then uh, it's fun. It's what it's become. It's because now we're talking about what's the next tools we're going to be using. You know.
Well,
So
it's funny, Danny, when I think it was a month ago, well, before August 1st, probably the 2 weeks before that, we all had a meeting, and we looked at your numbers, and your numbers had gone down on the language piece.
oh yeah, we had to come to Jesus meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, and I said to you at the beginning of the month after the first week, I said, I think you're going to have a good month because I can see the guys and gals are making commitment. I mean, the turnaround was I remember I remember the numbers. They had slipped down to where the employee close rate was like 10 or 11%. And the closing rate overall was only 64%. And then you had to come to Jesus meeting, and boom, it took off. And so I said, after a week, I said, I think you're going to have a good month because that's the driver. It's not complex. Interesting. Yeah.
I
Billy,
think
what
he had
about
like a 20% change after his discussion, um, just in the narrative and what the guys were going to the market with. So
Yeah. Well,
definitely,
I didn't
about
I
face.
didn't browbeat them or anything
oh,
like that. I just had to get everybody back focused on the task at hand. I had a lot of people on vacations this time of year. Um, they would be doing something rather than working because
Yeah,
we had all the floods for so many months in the beginning of the year, so nobody got to go do the lake thing and everything else. So anxiety was high, pressure was high because everybody was wanting to go do other things, and they just lost their focus.
yeah, 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 right. Absolutely. And plus, you guys have been hammering it for 2.5 years, pretty hard. So it's easy to see that could happen. Sometimes you got to let your foot off the gas pedal, I think, just as a human being. You got to chill out a little bit.
Yeah.
You
It's like,
knowing that you can, but you have your hands on the, I think on the, I started looking at this different, slightly different model. I'll just share it with you guys. I have it on the screen here. I've been looking at this in a way to explain to people what we're doing, right? Is that you got above the line and below the line. So above the line, you're studying your sales, and you're studying your P&L, right? And you're studying your KPIs every day. Whoops, that's an I. Every day, every week, every month, you're studying all this stuff and staring at it, and your POS systems, and we're generating all these numbers, and we forget, most people, not you guys, but most people forget that it's the language and the communication down below, that this is the foundation of everything, right? And so this is what drives the P&L. This is what drives the sales. This is what drives the KPIs. Is down here. Most people never even ever look at it. Or if they do, it's like they look at it and they go, "Boy, we suck," and then and then they move on to something else. Then they focus up here. It's easier to go out and buy a new piece of equipment, or buy a building, or buy a new business or whatever, or than it is a lot of times dealing with this. But I think some of you are seeing, this group anyway, are seeing the benefits once you get this language and communication piece dialed in, set in stone. Then it's a new game. You can tweak this. I think Danny just was a great example of that.
So it's also easier too, Dan, to go buy a piece of equipment and flip the switch, and go flip a switch to activate something else, than it is to do the marathon language and commitment piece. So it's not a sprint; it's a marathon. So we got to
That's true.
stay with the language and commitment. So it's definitely a challenge in getting people around, getting their ideas molded around that. But quite frankly, I've bought some pieces of equipment that weren't near as profitable. So
that's good. That's true.
I would chime in here is that two things. Me as the owner, I had to believe in it and buy into the ideal, and then implementation was the most difficult thing, and getting those guys to buy into it. And we lost a lot of people, but I've also hired in a lot of people that bought into it. And then I had to, by them seeing me believe in it long enough to get it, the numbers to prove it, then they started to see the numbers. And the funny thing, so I'm going through some notes right here from August of 2018. In August of 2018, we were up 20.1%. And then I flipped back. So I had the same. It's funny because I'm just now looking at it for the first time. I just said that we had the best month ever this company had had. And I promise you, I said that same thing in August of 2018. And then I look back at 2017, and we were up 23%. And so
you're slipping.
I got, right. Yeah, you're right. I got 3 years, though, that I've keep saying the same. Man, we had a record month. We had a record month. And we had a record year. We're having another record year. And I didn't do anything other than this. I just been focusing. We've been driving this home. Now we've added taps. We've added a lot of other tools. And the guys now are more apt. If I said tomorrow we're going to dress up in yellow banana suits, they would look at me as an idiot. But I'm not too sure that they would say, okay, if it's going to work. Because I've got
That's an idea. Write that down. I got that written down, Danny, by the way. I like that idea. Yellow banana suits.
Well, at the beginning of the year, we put our goals out there. And I always tell the guys, I said, you got to put out your personal goal, and then your work goal and stuff like that. And I always tell them, I said, you guys are going to put down generally something to do with your income. You got to keep it realistic. I said, because getting a 6 to 8% raise in a year that's a big raise, and getting one every year is huge. And I said, so, and these guys are all based, based on how the shop performs. And so they're 15%, 20% growth on their income. And I'm like, boys, you're reaching out there quite a ways. And they've been getting it. They've been getting it almost every year. If they're not getting it, they're getting really close. And that's,
Yeah.
so they've got their proof in their numbers, and we show them, when we have our end of the year deal with the individually. Well, this is what you made in 17. This is what you made in 18. This is what you made in 19. I don't have any employee issues at all with my team because they
Well,
see that.
it's great. It's great hearing you talk. I want to hear from other people, Danny, but I'll share this with you guys. When I had the ProCare operation, we did 5 years in a row of 95% of same store sales. And I knew it was a travesty. And it was such a big organization. I could make a difference in 5, 6 stores. I remember in Columbus, I was able to help move that needle, but there were so many other stores dragging us down that we could not grow the top line in that business. Couldn't do it. And I didn't have all the tools and the philosophy and the training the way it is now, and the context for it all. Didn't have believers, that it could be done. So just the idea of that 20%, you guys, and I know you're all, I know Randy. Hi, Randy Chernus is here. Good morning, Randy. How are you, buddy?
Morning.
Yeah. Thanks for getting up early. I tried to schedule this so we could see you. I wanted to see you, and I wanted to have you share with the guys some of the great things that's happening out there in Chula Vista, California. Would you like to do that?
I don't know what to share. I'm trying to keep up with the other guys.
Well, you're showing up. You're showing up. You're committed to this process, and from what I understand, your numbers are way better than last year. Is that accurate or not accurate?
No, that's accurate. They're better than last year. We're putting in the work to do it. Could you put in more work? Yeah. Could you get burnt out putting in more work? Yeah. I have the task at hand. I have the goal in mind, and we're working it.
Good for you. Good for you. And I know you guys are doing it, and you're making it happen. And you have a different type of business. You got the one location, but you're growing, right? Yeah, cool. Very cool. Any thoughts? Any observations from being involved in this quest? And are you close to? Here's another question: Are you close to hitting a 20%, or have you been doing that? Are you
Well, okay, so I didn't really look at the percentages, to be honest with you.
okay? Maybe next time. I'd love for you to do that next and just share what the group.
Yeah,
I mean, let me ask you this: do you think 20% growth for the year is possible for your business?
Well, let's see. If you take the average at 150, and you'd have to add what 30,000 of that, puts you at 180. So to do it consistently, it's possible. It's going to take a lot of work and a lot of structure, but it's possible.
Okay, cool. That's the first thing. Like Danny said, you thought it was a pie in the sky objective, goal. Didn't make sense on some level, But I knew from studying the language that the sales opportunities are there, guys. They're all
I
there.
guess there's different ways to get it. We've been working a lot on raising the gross percentage. So I think when I started, we were at 52%, and last month we ended up at 60%. So you have an 8% increase
Nice.
in net profit. It's better than 20%, I think, in sales because you're working smarter than harder. So I'm working a lot on controlling my expenses and making sure that we apply the right margins to the different things that we're selling.
Beautiful. Fabulous. Yeah, there's more than one way to skin a cat, for sure. Absolutely.
So I learned that from the Tuckers.
There you go. There you go.
Fixing the ground. you got to fix the groundwork before you can ever attempt to do more sales anyway.
Say that again, Danny. You got to fix what?
You have to fix the groundwork. That's what he's doing before you can ever try to increase your sales. Or, good gosh, that'd be like pouring gasoline on a fire. Yeah, you got to get you definitely have to get your procedures and everything down. We've had so much growth pain. Yeah, we're churning out all this extra 20% and stuff like that. And boy, it's revealed and created new problems, which we've had to deal with and stuff like that. So, yeah, and I work real hard on the net. That's what you're talking about over there, is working on the net. And the net is where it's at. The net is my personal. So I work real hard on that.
Cool. Billy Boy, you there?
Yes, sir. I am here.
Good morning, Tag. You're up.
Okay. Well, I was looking. As July was my best month ever, and we just fell shy of 200,000 for the in and outside, and the truck side was doing rather well itself. Then I looked at last month where in and out didn't have a what I would call a great month. I think it was like 11% growth. But then I looked at my tire sales. I'm up 30% in tires.
Wow.
I mean, I did same month last year, did 47,000. I did 62,000. That's huge. And it's from the language of commitment, telling the people that, hey, I've got it. I can help you, giving them choice clothes, and my tire sales are taking off.
Yeah, good.
My labor's up. Everything's looking good. And then we did 30% more in our Jeep show this year. So
30%.
overall,
Yeah. So how did you add that? How did you add the Jeep show into the overall month?
well, I looked at last year because I had the Jeep show in there. We did 336,000 combined last year. We did 456,000. Wait a minute, got the wrong one. Sorry. Did 408,000 last year combined. This year we did 456,000 combined. That's all three businesses at one time. So a little over 10%. I think it's probably about 12%. Our biggest struggle right now is finding help, and then we haven't gotten into the TAPS program yet. That'll probably open up here next week. And I got people asking me, what about this payment plan? They're asking me now. I used to always have to try to pound credit cards. I don't seem to have to do it anymore. It's just, hey, we have payment plans with or without credit. The guys are getting into it, and that's starting to work.
Yeah,
I'm working,
it's huge.
like we talked earlier this week, I'm working on the truck side to actually get them a wheel program and a lift kit program that they can run through. Because we just had one come in today, got up in there, and it needed parts. So it just slows the whole operation down. So, yeah, it's been working. It's just the language of commitment. The guys are getting into it, and we're training a brand new guy, and that's what I noticed in July. It was just Heather and I running the counter, and we were both just hammering it out the park and just making sales.
How did you make out the other day when you were down 5 people? you were a little bit nervous. What was
down
that on
6 today.
2? Oh no,
it's
really?
Crazy. It's just we were the week out and trying to explain to people why we're not getting them same day.
Yeah.
So I think I've got about 5 people coming in for interviews, and we offer a great pay package and stuff. It's just I got to get them in here. That's all.
All right, cool. So you mentioned something I circled it here. I said, what are the obstacles? What do you guys see? Jeff, maybe we'll go to you and Bill. Go around the room. What do you see as into the future? What are the biggest obstacles that you gentlemen face? I'm just curious.
Well, it's obviously going back to Bill is we've all got our employee issues, but the biggest thing that I've noticed and I've taken from Danny and seeing some of what he's doing, and then applied some of my own ideas about it, is the language of commitment doesn't only apply to your consumers as you greet them on the phone, it applies to your employees. Right. And talking about improving your processes and systems, well, that's really how you get there, is that communication piece. So it's so intertwined, and it's such a big tool to and I want to hear Danny's talk to that as well, because of his experience. But I feel like that is becoming more and more important to me in order to keep good people and have good people line up for you to come work for you. And I think that's one of our task at hand, is to build a strong employee base. But also, I think we're going to be hammered in the future from so many different areas of the tire sales spectrum, from all your online merchants and all your manufacturers are really trying to get independent dealers business. So I think we've got to use every tool possible at our disposal in order to capture our share of that market and or keep our share of that market.
That was huge. I was on the phone earlier with another gentleman. I thought he was going to be here with us. Mike, are you on the call? No. And that was one of his questions. Was how do you combat? What do you see in the future? How are we going to combat all the online stuff? It's a great question, Jeff.
Well, I'm embracing the online right now. We're big on tire buyer. I encourage the people, if they're not going to buy a tire from me, I send them to my website, buy the tires there, I'll install it. I get an alignment almost every time. I got to be getting brake jobs 25% of the time. And now with the language of commitment, I'm going to be their automobile guy. They're going to come back to me. They might keep buying their tires online, but they're not doing their brakes. They're not doing their alignments. I'm going to get that part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that one of my Ram taught me, and we have a BJ's opened up almost across the street from us. They send me more business now than they ever have. They get 50 munchkins every Monday, and that's all it takes. I get 3 or 4 sets of tires from them every week.
Really?
Yep. Because they have to put the exact same tire on. They'll send me up a 1 tire sale. I turn it into a 4 tire sale.
Mm-hmm.
And
all you do is go over with a box of munchkins?
Yep. Dunkin' Donuts, $5. So
great marketing. It is a great marketing program.
It's been working great. I gave it to a bunch of other people, and some of them called me and said, "Stop bringing me. We're not going to send you anything." I said, "All right." But the guys over there at BJ's love me.
And why are they sending you? Because they can't do some of the work, or they don't have the tires, or what?
They might not have the tire that day. The person wants a different speed rating. It has to be exactly the same for the BJ's to put it on. And maybe it's 2 days out for them to get a set of 4. I've got them in stock. If I don't have them in stock, I have them later that afternoon. So It's been working great. We bought them lunch a couple times, about once a month. We send them pizzas. It's been great.
That's funny.
So yeah, I'm trying to embrace what I can't change.
Right. Go with the flow, so to speak. Yeah.
Right. Try to manipulate it so it works out for me. So I've got BJ's on board, and Tire Buyer, Tire Rack, we're working with them too.
What are your thoughts on that, Danny, given the size of your operation?
What's a different approach, I guess? I was listening to you guys talking about your tire sales. The one gentleman's tire sales were way up, and this, that, and the other. There are no new tire sales being out there, so that means that those tire sales had to come from somebody else. It's meaning that he basically stole them from somebody's other tire retail store, and he was able to do that with his language and his techniques with using the language of commitment. So I use the language commitment the exact same way, and that's how we did that. But I also use it with my guys, and if you study it and you really look at it, we don't we're not getting the people to buy from us without us giving them a commitment first, and then they give us, it's an exchange of commitments.
Right.
So I use the exact same deal with my employees. I offer them a commitment in exchange for their commitment, and we talk about it in those terms, in that language. And so then in the hiring process, it's exactly like the tire sales. Is the word gets out that you're different because of the way we talk. Well, the employees the word gets out that it's different on how you treat them, which is basically the way we communicate. And so I'm stealing my employees just like I'm stealing tire sales. No different than you guys are. You just haven't got to the employee side of it yet. So the employee, the workload is way larger than the workforce. We all know that. So getting the quality hire, a good quality hire, is very difficult, and it is very, very difficult. So we've had to spend a tremendous amount of effort and time spending on getting the right people hired, and we've made some bad hires, and we've been able to add to our team to keep the motion going with the percentages, and it's been by the way we communicate with our employees. We're communicating with our vendors in the same way, and all of a sudden it's opening more doors and more doors and stuff like that. So the workforce deal that everybody's up against is no different here than there or anywhere else, but you can make it easier if you carry what you're doing with your sales right over into your shop, if that makes any sense.
Well, it's interesting to me, Danny, as I listen to you speak, and it's like, I tell this story all the time, every day to new people or whatever. I say, when we got together, you looked me in the eye and said, "This commitment thing, I'm all in. Let's do it." And that's the way he operates. So it's from what you're saying, it's really, for me, it's really thrilling to see you have become a full-blown commitment-based company in all respects. And if we look at the world out there in the Tulsa market, just look at Tulsa. What percentage of the companies out in Tulsa right now today would you say are commitment-based organizations, soup to nuts, end to end? What
Very,
percentage of them?
very few.
Couple?
People are longing for somebody to talk to them like the way we talk to them. You know what I mean? That
Yes.
the subpar customer service became okay. Where back in my generation, that was not okay. So whenever you do something different, it is remarkable. And so you train, when you talk to your employees, with the same commitment level, and asking them for listen, I want to do this for you, but this is what I need from you. Can you do that? Things change, you know. Um, it's it's difficult. The workforce problem is difficult. I've got 76 employees, so you can just imagine. Um, it's very difficult to add to the team for long term. You know, I'm doing it the same way we do it with our sales on our tire sales. I'm using the exact same commitment level. I guess you guys have all been the job ghosting. Has everybody been? You hire somebody and then they just never show up?
Oh
Is there?
yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Uh,
Job ghosting. I didn't really, I heard that term from you before. It's like interesting. Job ghosting. That's like,
it's
they just
80.
never show up.
It's 75 to 80% of the people you hire. Hey, I'm going to be there next Tuesday or something like that at 8 a.m. and they just never show up.
75 to 80%?
Yeah, it's nationwide. It's a problem.
Holy
And
crap. Wow.
I'd say we run 50%.
yeah,
They just don't show up?
yeah.
Just don't. You call them the day before, I'll be there. Then where are you? They offered me some more money, or I decided I didn't want to do it.
So we've actually changed something on our deal. So I imagine most of you guys, when you hire somebody, generally if they're any good, they've got a job, so they probably have to put in a 2 weeks notice. Would you say?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't allow that.
My wife has been pushing me to do that too.
Yeah. If you want this job, and it is so difficult because you're interviewing a guy that is the top. I mean, he's the bomb. You really want him, right? He's the good guy, and he's got a job. He's working somewhere. And hey, I'm going to make a commitment to you that you're going to make good money. We're going to give you more time off, and we're going to lower the stress. Our benefits of what's going to be different about working for us is, and you're going to want to come take this job. The problem is you got to be here tomorrow, and there is no way around it. If you can't do that, that's fine, and I understand. But I'm going to move to the next guy because I'm going to get right off the bat. I'm going to know if he's committed. right off the bat during my interview process. It's very intricate interview process, but we have changed it over. If you want this job, you'll be here tomorrow, and it stops the ghosting. It's weeds out the wishy washy, the person that can't make the decision and stuff like that. I got to go talk to my wife. Yeah, I don't want you on my team. Um, you know, there's a place for that type of person and stuff like that, but in the end, I'm looking for a specific.
I love that. Who wears the pants in the family?
We're stealing our customers by the way we talk and the way we are, basically the way we're doing business. We're changing the way we do business, where we give a commitment level that's different than anybody else out there. Is that? I mean, that's correct, wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
and
Yeah.
we all know that there's not any new tire sales, so you're stealing them from somebody. If you're up 20%, somebody is down somewhere. I mean, that's just a given. And so that's no different with your employees and stuff like that. So you have to get the right. It's slow to hire and quick to fire. So
The thing I'm thrilled about for guys, I know Danny, your tire sales got to be way up. Jeff, how are you doing on tire sales? Are they up?
Our sales are up finally. So we've
Yeah,
had a
good.
kind of a slower year this year overall, but they are starting to come up now. So
Nice. And Bill is up. What did you say, Bill, in the month? You were up
This 30% that 1 month. That's huge.
30%. Well, I think the interesting thing for me is that, people will shop. They shop for tires. So we can use that in all forms of advertising and marketing. They shop for used tires. They
Right. I
shop.
won't let them. I won't let them price dump anymore. Where 4 sets is this much. Boom, hang up. Now we're talking to them. We're building that
Nice.
relationship.
Nice. And
You
it's
know.
30% is just huge. I know it's possible because you think about it, guys. I mean, the people call. Anybody who makes a move to call any of you already has some type of commitment to do something. They're already making a move to do something. So it's just matching their level of commitment. Understanding that I think that they're they're in the mode of doing trying to get their life on track because it's held up for some reason, because the tires or brakes or whatever. So it's like really realizing that. And I love what you said, Bill, not dealing with the uh, price dumping. No,
Right. Well,
no,
that's
no.
why I got rid of Tom. He price dumped a brake job that could have been in my shop. It
Yep.
was a simple inspection. Get him in for no charge. Let's check it out. He just threw a price, hung up on the guy, and I was furious.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not one tire sale. It's not one brake job. I lost that customer for life. What's the chance he's going to call back?
Danny, you see my response? It's good, brother. We lost that customer for life. With Danny and I were trading emails about that. What is the cost? Let's just throw it out for a quick discussion, and then we could wrap this up if you want, guys. This is the first. I want to meet like this for a half hour, 45 minutes every month with people that are like-minded, that believe that 20% growth, and extreme profitability is possible. And so we have to swim in the same soup. It's like I'm hopeful that my buddy Mike Trunkus can get on here. He was he's a mentor to me, and he's a great triathlete, and he's my triathlon coach. But if you want to improve your physical conditioning, you got to run with the right crowd, because they're committed. And that's what I'm doing with this group. Is we're getting a group of people that realize that 20% is possible, it's doable, and there's lots of ways to do it, and we're doing it, and that's it. There's no ifs, ands, buts, or ors about it. This is the way we roll. This is how we operate. We maximize everything. So what do you guys think? One bad hire can cost you annually. What do you guys think? Have you
It,
done the
it
math
depends
on that?
on it depends on the position, but up front, it
Yeah,
can
I'm
be over.
talking up front. I'm talking at the counter. Yeah, I
Oh,
don't the
it can
technician.
cost you a couple 100,000.
Couple?
Yeah, easy. because you're.
I think it's way, 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 way more. I think you're very
I'm
light on that.
I think I'm like, well, over the lifetime, yeah, it could be millions, I guess, because if he drives away a customer that you would have for life, that might be a $200,000 customer, all of a sudden you drive 10 away, there you are, 2 million.
Well, yeah.
So,
Well, Danny was talking about that the other day. We exchanged emails on it, and is he looking at how much do they turn away if they kill 2 or 3 customers a day? That's one
right,
number, right?
right.
And then the other side of it is how many tire sales do they turn away? How many brake jobs do they turn away? When you do the math on that, it can get up to 500,000 like that quick, you know, 500,000. One guy, one gal that is not making commitments. They're dumping prices. Boom, 500,000, almost in a heartbeat. Then
Yeah,
add the people that were turned away. That doesn't include the turnaways. The existing customers that come in and they get pissed off and they leave.
I have it up on my screen at the moment. Um, my average repair order in one of my shops is $250, and a customer comes to my shop 3 times a year on average. So that's $750. So the yearly value of that customer is $750. So I hire a counter guy, and he may come in contact, let's just say 10 people a day. And out of those 10, if he just basically screwed up on 3 of those people a day where they're just not going to come back over a month's period of time, 3 a day, that's 75 people. That's $56,250 of of value I lost in that month. That's $660,000 in a year.
Right. There you go.
So he
That's what
fired,
I'm talking
he
about.
fired Tom because Tom price dumped. Yeah, you just saved yourself a lot of money, buddy.
I did, no doubt.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
simple brake inspection. He could have said, come on in, and he didn't.
Well, you got a certain way of doing things now, and if he can't do it that way, he can't work for you.
That's right. He's gone.
Cool. Cool. Anybody got anything to share? I'm thrilled that we're doing this group. I appreciate you guys like no end. My team is in your corner. You know that. And the other thing you look at all the different ways. We're just getting started with this conversation, but I think what I'd like to do is go around the room and see what you each, if any of you want to declare anything for the rest of the year. This is how we invent it. This is how we make it happen. We declare it. That's the only way it happens. If you don't declare what's going to happen, well, whatever's been happening is likely to continue, right? It'll be same old, same old. So I'm curious as to what you guys are thinking for the rest of the year, and that's what I'm hoping, that this becomes a time during the month where you get to reflect a little bit and you say, all right, what am I going to make happen next month, next year, for the rest of this year, other areas of life, perhaps. So I don't know what you want to declare to the group, but in this group, you have committed listeners. You have people that are listening. Here comes my buddy, Michael Trunks. I sent Michael. I love this guy. He's when I decided to get into triathlon, he became my first triathlon coach and a great friend. And then he went on to become a college coach for the State University of New York. And now he left that position. Now he's coming to work with me. But he's a really smart. Mike, say hello to the group here, Mike. Did he come in? I saw him come in.
He's there. He's just muted. He's got to unmute his mic.
Okay, maybe he doesn't have a mic yet. I'm getting him up to speed on the whole technology. But this guy,
I'm here, man.
good. But this guy's made such a difference for me, Mike. Please say hello. You got Danny Smith, Randy Chernus.
Hey guys, I can't believe the stories that I'm hearing about Danny Smith's business in Oklahoma. Blowing my mind. It's got me really excited about what Dan's doing and the growth potential for everybody's business.
Danny is a one of a kind, but Bill Schrider and Randy Chernus and Jeff Tucker, they're all doing it. Bill Schrider, Mike was just sharing his tire sales were up 30% last month. That's unheard of.
That's awesome.
Who does that? But I'll tell you, the language of commitment and I want to go around and we'll get some declarations from you guys, but I declared to this guy, Mike Trunks, that I wanted to make Team USA like 13 years ago. And he looked at me and he goes, just like Danny, so he looked at me and goes, okay, we could do it. Let's do it. And I said, and I'm thinking to the minute I said that, I said, holy crap, what did I just say?
All right. I'll start with one.
Yeah.
All my new hires will start the next day. That's a big change in the way I've done things. If you don't want to work, you're not coming in. That's just the way it's going to be. You already know my personal goals. It was 35.
Listen to this, Mike Trunks. Go ahead. Say it again, Bill. Go ahead. What did you lose so far?
I'm down 35 pounds. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Over 4.5 inches on the waist. I'm fighting the weight, and my personal trainer saying, don't worry about your weight, because my goal also is to lift my body weight by my birthday, which is the 20th. I'm about 15 pounds short. I don't know if I'll make it, but I am trying like hell.
You're going to do it, man. No doubt.
Those are my goals. The weight is like, it's not going up. So, but they're going to put me on one of these body mass index things he's got and see where it's all shifted to. But
35 pounds. This guy is making it happen in all areas of life, his business, his personal life, his fitness. That's fabulous. I'm so thrilled to have you part of this team, Billy. I love it. Who else? Anybody else wanted to declare anything?
I'm just excited about being in the room with these guys.
Say what, Jeff?
I'm just excited about being in the same room with these guys.
Right, exactly. The energy level, everything is off the hook. Randy Chernus, what about you? What about the future, buddy?
I'm going to really work on my commitment with the language with the employees and get my 2 counter guys and my service manager to get on the same program where we're making not only a commitment to them, but they're making one to us. I'm just going to change the language from what we're doing now, which is basically, hey, let's do this, let's do that. I'm going to get them more involved in the conversation. This has been pretty good, this going around the room, listening to the guys that are already doing this type of vernacular. This is very good. Yeah, it's going to take me a while because I have to analyze everything and grasp it and figure out how it works for me. But at least now the seed's planted, so now I can grow and till the soil to make it work for us better. I'm very analytical. I love to listen and then apply the thoughts that I pick up.
Good for you, buddy. Appreciate you. Yeah. Jeff, what about you? Anything you want to declare to the group?
I want to finish up about 10% in gross sales above last year, and so I think that's a pretty formidable goal for us for where we are. And we've had a couple of manufacturing plants close in our city and everything, so I've been happy with just holding our own at this point. Losing 600 jobs, next door, but it's I want to finish strong. So
there you go. Beautiful. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. What about the TAPS program? What kind of declaration do you have about the TAPS program?
TAPS is going really well with people like Danny that have give us the levity to believe in it and take it and run with it. I can see it making some amazing changes in many, many, many more stores, and I'm looking forward to what it's going to do for the rest of this year.
Yeah, I want to also announce to everybody, Jeff signed up a furniture company, and I said, wow, cool, I love it. Not just about tires. This TAPS program is going to grow like crazy. That's my prediction. All over the place. The word gets out, Thank you, Jeff. My friend Danny, anything you want to declare to the group?
Yeah, I got a new program that we just started where I hired a guy that is in training right now, but he is going to do nothing but the deferred work. And then he's going to use the Sales Max Plus, just like that price dump on the gentleman that was talking earlier. So he's going to monitor the Sales Max Plus phone calls for the sales alerts, and he's going to be my follow-up on whenever one of my guys drops the ball. And then we have a lot of deferred work where maybe they came in for an oil change and somebody's seen a ball joint that needed to be fixed and they didn't fix it at that particular moment. So his job is going to be nothing but trying to salvage and get that rebooked into our workforce. And I'm just going to tell you what we're doing there, because we're going to do a 60-day trial with this and see how much of the work that we can recover. And because that's like adding another shop without adding another shop, you know what I mean?
I'm so thrilled that you're doing this, because using the tools that we've worked together to build to get in place, hearing what you're saying, this is fabulous, because I'm certain that what you said is, I believe that, and here's the goal. This is my declaration, because I was on the phone with the guy for about an hour yesterday, John Lemon, right? And I'm committed to seeing him succeed in his job of making all these outbound calls and following up on the missed opportunities and everything. And I believe that you, with enough phone calls coming in, which you have in the whole business, with enough phone calls, it can be like opening a new store without having to go out and buy real estate and buy the equipment and all that stuff. Just capturing somebody that's really good on the phone, I'm certain can save a couple of deals per hour, 2 deals per hour, and do the math on that. That'll
So
come out to
I'll share with everybody how this little project is going, because I've wanted to do this for 10 years, and I knew it was out there. And finally, I decided, you know what? I'm going to take X amount of dollars. I'm going to set off to the side. I'm going to do a 60-day trial on this deal, and I'm going to pay a guy a salary basically until we can get it going, until we can get it moving. And if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, then I'll know what to do differently. But it's a fun, big project that I've wanted to do for a long time, and now we're going to do it. And every shop out there has got the exact same deal where they have work that doesn't get sold. And so, we don't know what happened, but something happened that they didn't buy. So we're going to see if we can try again. We're just going to basically try again.
So let me ask you a question, Danny. So we have 2 buckets of opportunities as I see it. One is the deferred work. Oh, Billy had left. All right, Billy's got to run. And this is a great topic for discussion, guys. Are you running out of time? How are you guys on time? I know Billy was pressed for time. How are you gentlemen on time? You okay, Danny?
I got just a few more minutes, Dan.
Yeah, let's talk about this for next time, Danny. We'll wrap our heads around it, because this is something I love. I love, where we're going on this thing and what you're doing on it. Fabulous. And I want to work very closely with John. Big opportunity, I believe.
Well, we'll see how it works.
He seemed to be very open on taps as well. So I think he's got the concept and everything. He seems to be really, into that field. So I think he's going to do well.
Yeah, I think the TAPS program could be a big part of that, Danny. When you call that customer back, you say, hey, we've got you covered. Let me get you hooked up. That payment plan. Very cool. Guys, great call. Great call. Anything else, Danny? Were you done?
I'm good, man.
All right, good. I appreciate all of you. Mike, thanks for finally getting my bad for sending you the wrong link, but we'll set up another date next month. I'd like to continue this practice and invite some more people, and keep opening the possibility that 20% is doable and real, and there's no reason in the world we can't accomplish that. A lot of tools we have. Anyway, all right, guys. Peace.
Thanks, Dan.
Have a great day. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be good. So long.